So today we wanted to address some of the questions that we get from retailers on a day-to-day basis about the new Google Shopping model. Over the past year, there's been a lot of changes in the marketplace. Of course, the transition of Google's traffic from a free plus paid model to an entirely commercial model has been rocky for some. However, we see a great opportunity overall in the new model. We wanted to talk today about some specific questions we receive daily from retailers, such as, should my Google sales be growing? In the past, retailers got used to a significant amount of traffic coming from the free Google product search program. However, now that there is a fully commercial model, what industry comps are available to understand, are you getting enough, or how can you get more traffic from Google on a day-to-day basis? Next, how much of your AdWords budget or overall budget should be going towards Google Shopping? What's the opportunity available to retailers, and how can I get more traffic from my incremental budget? Next, what search queries and which traffic displays a product listing ad? Of course, Google decides both the keywords and the queries that display product listing ads, but what are those queries? And how can you better target and optimize your content to get more traffic out of Google Shopping? How should your Google Shopping campaigns be structured? Of course, Google Shopping being focused on product targets, it's really up to the retailer or the marketer to understand how to best structure their campaigns to maximize traffic and maximize efficiency. And finally, how often should I update my product feed? I think this is a very important part for all retailers to understand, as the new Google Shopping model is focused heavily on data quality. So simple things like inventory availability and pricing can play a really critical role in the success of your overall campaign. So first, should your Google sales be growing, or how much should they be growing? So within clients within the Mercent platform, we've seen overall so far in 2013, 39% year-over-year sales. And this is in the transition from Google's free plus paid model in 2012 to the entirely paid product listing ads model in 2013. As you can see, this is a significant opportunity for all retailers to grow sales. So I think the first question to ask is, how are your Google sales doing, and how can you do more if you're not achieving at least 30 to 39% annual growth out of the overall Google program? Of course, this represents a staggering 1,360% year-over-year growth from the product listing ads program itself. But again, we look at Google overall versus how much traffic was available last year when there was a free and paid model versus what is the opportunity today in a paid-only commercial model. Next, a common question we get from all retailers is how much of my budget should be going towards product listing ads, and what's the opportunity there? Am I spending enough, or could I be spending enough on product listing ads? So this is some data on the right here, or the left, represented by Mercent retail clients using our platform for both paid search and product listing ads management. As you can see, throughout the history of product listing ads growth into 2012, the fourth quarter, we saw significant growth out of overall product listing ads spend and sales. However, our basic comp is 40% of overall AdWords spend can be and should be going towards your product listing ads campaigns. We do have some retailers in certain categories and with very large product feeds that can spend up to 55% of their overall AdWords budget specifically on product listing ads. Again, product listing ads typically represent a much more efficient opportunity for retailers compared to broad, non-trademark search. I'll talk a little bit later about which queries serve product listing ads, but we do see a lot of efficiencies being driven from incremental spend added to PLAs versus incremental spend you could add through broad text search. So which search queries do display product listing ads? And I think the first question that we always get is, how do PLAs cannibalize, or do they cannibalize my paid search traffic? What's interesting about product listing ads is they actually serve primarily, as you can see, 94% of the product listing ads that we've tracked through our platform and analyzed actually serve on non-trademark terms. So if you're a retailer that has a strong trademark brand, and trademark terms are a very important part of your overall paid search text ad strategy, product listing ads actually don't represent a significant cannibalization at all for that program. If anything, the efficiencies being driven from product listing ads represent an opportunity for you to spend maybe more traffic or more on your overall product listing ads than you may be on your text ads campaigns in a non-trademark context. As you can see, typical queries on Google Shopping that are category specific or detail specific about product product and product attributes typically do serve a product listing ad in many categories. Here's an example here of a query for tents, but this is common across many categories. Google has what they call a jackpot result as well. So if a retailer, or if a shopper happens to search for a specific product, perhaps the product by name or manufacturer part number or something that's Google can understand the product query is tied directly to a single item, you'll get what's called a jackpot query. This is not what's shown here, but a jackpot query is actually the exact product result, a single product listing ad with all retailers that sell that in a fashion similar to perhaps a buy box on Amazon, where you're showing all retailers on a single product and comparing pricing for that as well. Now, how should your campaign be structured? We've done a lot of testing here at Mercent over the few years that we've been working with product listing ads, and the one thing we found that really helps overall growth is granularity in your campaign. This is some data represented for some recent testing we've done over here in the first quarter, where we were able to produce a 35% growth in daily traffic by simply adding significantly more granularity to their overall product target structure. So this is a retailer that we're able to work with to maximize the granularity of their product targets, breaking out product targets by more than one condition. So not just using a category target, perhaps using category and brand, price. Other attributes not being sent to Google through the AdWords label feature to be able to really maximize the granularity and the targeting of their overall product listing ads campaign. Again, the game on Google Shopping is to maximize traffic and maximize efficiency. So the more granular and more specific you can be with your campaigns and your targets, the more targeted you can be with the queries that Google decides to serve for those product listing ads. And finally, how often should you update your product feed? This is a very common question we receive from a lot of retailers. In the past, when Google had a free program, many retailers would simply post a feed once a day or once a week to Google. A lot of the reasons Google gave behind transitioning to a paid model was to increase, or to improve the experience that shoppers have on Google. And we feel strongly that updating your product feed as frequently as possible, perhaps as frequently as you may do currently on a marketplace like Amazon or eBay, is vital for success on Google Shopping. One, it increases conversion rate. So if you have many variations within your product listings, you can maximize the efficiency of your conversion by having real-time inventory updates or frequent inventory updates to Google. Now at Mercent, we do this through the Content API for shopping, which allows us to post incrementally throughout the day to Google. So if you're a retailer currently sending a single flat feed file to Google a day through an FTP, you'll find a lot of efficiency in working through the Content API to maximize the incremental capabilities of your product listing updates. This allows you a lot of efficiency. Again, there's an instant improvement in conversion rate as you can remove product listings that are out of stock that may not have been updated intraday in a single daily FTP post. Google also provides what they call the express pipeline for retailers that do post products through the Content API for shopping. Therefore, your product listing ads that are updated through the Content API actually receive somewhat real-time updates on Google Shopping versus a flat file that may take 2, 3, 4 hours to update if you're simply posting it to an FTP for Google. So I think it's important to ask, how do you stack up and understand the numbers, take them back to your marketing teams and try to see how you can improve your campaigns on Google Shopping. First, are you experiencing 39% or better year-over-year growth on Google Shopping? For a lot of retailers, the free Google product search traffic was critical to their overall strategy online in the past. And now an entirely paid model, it's important to use all the tools that are available to you and all the tricks of the trade to really maximize the traffic available now that you're competing in an auction-based marketplace. I think it's important to ask yourself, are you allocating enough budget to Google Shopping? We've had a lot of retailers that are underfunding Google Shopping and perhaps overfunding other categories or other campaigns like search or display, when really could be driving more efficiency from the new Google Shopping model. Again, we've typically seen that Google Shopping provides higher conversion rate and a lower cost per click than traditional text-based search on the exact or similar type queries, those non-trademark queries. So if you're spending significantly still in those areas, we would suggest testing significantly more, perhaps, within PLAs to drive more efficiency in your overall campaign. Are your search terms converting? One thing we didn't talk about today is keyword insertion in your data feed, maximizing the content of your titles and descriptions to really cover some of those non-trademark or broader category terms that Google's serving a PLA on. a tool like Mercent Retail will allow you to maximize and optimize the titles and descriptions within your Google feed to make sure you're covering all the relevant queries that you like your products or that your products are most profitable to serve on. And based on today, are your campaigns structured correctly to maximize traffic? We feel that campaign structure is very critical, especially now that Google Shopping is approaching a one year overall since its rollout last June. And now that retailers and marketers are better understanding the program, we feel that those that are maximizing the reach and maximizing the targeting of their overall campaigns are seeing significant gains. And finally, how often are you updating your product feeds? If you're a retailer selling on a marketplace, it probably wouldn't be acceptable for you to update your inventory and pricing once a day on Amazon or eBay. However, we find that many retailers are still doing single or weekly updates on Google. However, Google represents as strong, if not consistent, overall opportunity for you, as you may see on Amazon in terms of bottom line sales. So you have to ask yourself, are you updating your listings as significantly as possible on Google Shopping? So what's our approach at Mercent? We feel it's important to have an integrated approach combining the elements of feed management and campaign management into a single user interface. We can talk a little bit more after today's presentation about the Mercent Retail platform. But we've worked over the years to be able to provide marketers and retailers a single tool set to optimize their feed, their campaign, automate their bidding, and manage all other elements for Google Shopping, especially focusing on some of the data quality areas we talked about today. So if any of you would like to talk a little bit more in detail today, I'll be available after today's session, and I'd love to connect. Thank you.